بكلمات الله التامة من غضبه وعقابه ومن شر عباده.
كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. بس كيف ما كانوا؟
ala barakiti ala ka fam be brasi alobi mo sema to ko mi wasi ka baka saka kena to baka saka na do ko nyewu lo ka le mo ni ala ko mama ko muna ni ma do salaka ko yin ko ari dabla anye bene anya lo ka ko ala le har jadi la moma masaya mo te mo kala masari ala le masala anya lo ka kanu de ko na nyo suduna gari mi suduna mo bi hali wati ro asema yeno abati bando
kenali kambe na fola ye are moy mo we kala jusi mo badel wuta ala mo kenya
ko be ko do nyona so anya handi se anya lonka ko kuna
mu very absolutely stuff. I'm very honored to be here with the North Carolina delegates.
I'm be do itre ebronya uye benta fane
kan ni dia anyoye kabko ala ka heremi kanye ambe ho dia bo inshallah usazole
apalo weto ko biako abeta sudwa sele abeta susana
ben kuro igala arma de amba benro asia mandike ne ba meri chasolo doni liberal samina manika be wulla o sankenela nigi meri
fangate jamala nudo ti nyombro ay faalo ja ay abolu nyombro.
But the statistics shows.
Mo ba ne mawukira kunki ya bolo ben ba kai bana ma dia lo ben
ba fo ko isim da lo i bara minete wole kalama ni akala mai la kunko tewodi ile la problem tewodi parce que bara yemani ka femfe ni ka.
And during that time I thought, well, it would be wise to talk to brothers with similar ideas.
Mo fatita mobo foi tita mobo
youngest among the leaders. And on behalf of the Wisconsin Mandingo Association,
mwana fala mo fauni mo bauna fa ko fembo mo la ko mi fisa ya mole mo wodua wala suukere
alu kanana kama la denya bi nuni alu tije se majie kanana nyala timo makana
ona no sora sarali ya benti make atize na ka
and besides the program, we had a little addition to the program. This is a guy that flew from Monrovia. Ability to take the challenge.
From the Executive Council of the National Mandingo County,
to the WVS Tubman High School, and to the University of...
Excuse me. Some of them we know. Some of them we don't like. Some of them that were leading us 60 years ago. Then you realize that comes the door. I don't agree with you. Education.
Brother Masale went through several educational journeys from the War
Association of Pennsylvania, if present, distinguished platform guests,
decided to put together a very broad-based organization.
I want to encourage you to continue this dialogue and moving to.
Yes.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Yes.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing. Testing 1 2. Testing. Testing 1 2. MC.
You have one chair. Let's draw a line between man and woman.
Yes, please, here. One seat here. Free seat.
That chair, you put it behind there. Let's make that opening. One chair, you bring on the side.
Hello.
I don't know if I'm I'm going to go where I will prefer some more for Haramoko. Halali. So Halali.
Where are you? Ramokta mu makrono.
adi duwa ukanya kula mama duwa ukela sina inshallah ndani kwani kuma damna inshallah
أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من غضبه وإقابه ومن شر عباده ومن همزات الشياطين وأن يحضرون. الحمد لله أمسينا وأمسى الملك لله. الحمد لله لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك له الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم نسألك خير ما في هذا المساء وخير ما بعده. اللهم نعوذ بك من شر ما في هذا المساء وشر ما بعده. اللهم نعوذ بك من الكسل وسوء الكبر. اللهم نعوذ بك من عذاب النار وعذاب القبر. وصل اللهم على عبدك ورسولك نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليم والحمد لله رب العالمين. أنيونا دين كوني فمي وليك بالمايا سباتي البسالة بالمايا سباتي على عندي أنيوي Islamai teseka dianyoe fo ay Allah Ta'ala dina kolosi aya nyona jen kono nyona jen be fe ka sigini ka lalili kan juna ben lomi Allah Ta'ala be Islama jurmu yafa parce que lom be ka bon na lomi ka fsani lom be Allah Ta'ala fe wole jumaloin cila ko te sallallahu alayhi wa sallam خير الأيام يوم الجمعة لونا في سمانتين جمالوين كبان الله تعالى كجمالون كي كالير دوكا كونو تلا بي كالي الله تعالى لا نيكا لا داليكا بن واتي ماكو الله تعالى بي هاجو جرا بنا يرا كفو نيكا واتي فلي o sɔrɔ ka di lansara le bannen kɔfɛ jumalon. Donc an b'o le wagati kɔnɔ nin ye an ka duwawu fɛn fɛn kɛ ala y'an bɛn o wagati ma k'an ka duwawu kɛ sababa fɛn ala y'o kɛ. Donc silamɛ kan ka o yɔrɔnin kɔrɔsi jumalon i bɛ sɔlatu sariya cila ye sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sabu min na n'i ka sɔlatu sariya cila ye i bɛ fɛn bɛɛ ɲinina Alahu Ta'ala b'o d'i ma. An b'a dali Alahu Ta'ala fɛ an bɛna fɛn bɛɛ fɔ kɛnɛ nin kan yan ala ye a kɛ sababu ye ka balimaya sabati k'an sɔn alijinɛ la. Ala an bɛɛ jurumu yafa. An ka duwawu min fana kɛ sisan cila duwawu le bɛɛ duwawu min n'a tun bɛ to ka kɛ sɔgɔma ani wula fɛ an k'o le duwawu kɛ silamɛw ye. An b'a dali Alahu Ta'ala fɛ ala ye duwawu min an bɛɛ lajɛlen ma. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
A san 16 de bi kabi Libera kɛlɛ danara an bi a san 16 tɛ an bɛɛ bara se yan nɔ bi an sɛmɛ yan nɔ bi an bɔ ni Libera la ka bɔ fan wɛrɛ ka se yan ala bara kiti ala ka fɔ an bɛɛ bara se yan nɔ bi mɔgɔ sɛma tora kɔ minnu ma se ka se yan olu sɛma sara kɛrɛ rɔ n'an ka miiri o lon ma cɛ sɔrɔ doni so kɔnɔ lon min na ka bɔ nimba dan na ka se Marɔbiya n'an ka miiri kasara min la n'u lamɔ olu kan n'an ka miiri o ma han bi ani fana an y'a fɛ ka programme min kɛ bi ni ka miiri k'a fɔ kɛlɛ min donna an na mɔlu tɛ yan nɔ Philadelphia kɔnɔ yan nɔ k'a fɔ ko maninka bansa ni kɛ ɲɔgɔn kan k'a fɔ ko ala la ko an tɛ fɛ maninka ɲɔgɔn ye dɛ parce que an maninka minnu ka kɛlɛ kɛ olu yɛrɛ bila ka bɔ so kɔnɔ k'a fɔ ko an tɛ se bɛnna le fewu parce que dolu b'a tɔmɔli kɛ k'a fɔ ko maninka den dɔw minɛ ten ko rebel le wolo di olu ka kɛlɛ min kɛ o la kɛlɛ o ma bɛn min fana k'a lɔ fana kɛlɛ fana ni ɲɛ o fana b'a kɛ ju di ko cɛ sɔrɔ fana yɛrɛ ka fisa o fana di ki wo kuma bara to la han amra wa han city hall la ka ko kuma wo wa ke no man ka gban sante okay ni ki mi kuma so ma ida no ka foko an tema munafik lo an tema hasilu fana an tema wati be wo ko kele ne kala cha selo ko la ka man ka wuli ka bo man ka tema ka wala cha selo kan kana mo fana ni fa wo mo kele ne fana an tema bi hambi do bra fa ko do ni la folo so anya lo no wati be ni ju tema ya no ka foko ju le fe ile ni ju akira nye matese bena iko molka mi foko sina muso ko ni ka foko muso ko ay wasina muso fere na ma fasa ma radi julu la ka ko sai anu fana yoro mi no bi an julu mi la en fait an ka kenya susuma antina benale parce que plan gbere la lu kono a fo ne wati be ka foko e bon so ba mi fo chastro ba mi fo alu yewole ko alu yere kan mo ba mi fo o te ben so anya yoro mi no bi an nan ne ko ka kuma anyonte ani se bena nyamima kele bra ke Libera mote no minda fo ka fo mo ma ko juke ni le ya fo ka fo mo kana kuma fo ile la kura le feu hali le makole ke butun ici yere mai kan ko le ke feu motena to la lilao ani ma ko ke mote to la ila ni ko ne ka fo ko le la foto le la mo mu fana ka lu Libera ka fo kan ye ko kala to yo lu ko bi ka fo wolle tiele kala di wolle rebel wolle nisi ko ni wol fana tuté no wulon asama ya no bi atuna kala ni labi fana ya wulon so an yoro mi no bi ne ko ni ka mi lo jane kuma di mo baluma anyi ya no an be ya lo an juzu kono ka fo anyi ya nya susu ma fo anyi ya fa le nyoma paka saka kena te paka saka na do ko nya wulon ka le mono da alaji ko mama ko muna fa muso ya garla kala jima alaji ko mama wala tani alaji ko wala tani be bara you know so ni le ka mira so ta ka bu nyambu ya gbansan ka fo ay ke an gbansan te ni ka manika do ka fo jone paka saudi akwe gini bla ofe muna ikini plan fe bonaka imagine watri ko na watri ko hali kan fu atemfu la na mi fo sa usra nyambo yaro idita sa kisi akono so fa nyambo ya de dabla anye bene anya loka ko ala le hadi la moma masaya mote mo kala masadi ala le masaya la tela moma ala bala masaya la tela moma wuti dike masadi so ni ko kere mo susula anya kan na mi fo bi anya ya fa nyoma anya hina nyona anya loka ko anu le ko na nyon suduna gani mi suduna mo bi hali wati ro asema yeno abati mando ajereta polidia kuna kira nyanya ma ana dunni nyokuna saya ba ke fanya nyosu dunni amura la nyasu zuma akira nyanya ma abere mo kire wana ko la timana mo baluma adi hagli da ma fana kanga kuna ko la banyama ala ko federation mi aya fa kami formating na abena federation na abeto ako ani se kala benyama anu ne ana mo mi le libre ani se ka bare nyo fe nyama kana gabla la sabati kana jamana la sabati election mara ke librea ana mulu brato ko goroma kura brasi ana mulu brato ko an fana yano fana an fana te benaro ante benaro kumina o kumbelete no ko malo ni setana le brado ante ba akeni yasu ma ba kono be ko dum yona so anya handi se anya lon ka kuna boya dam na lewri kam go ala iso herela ile here yam dafe wala la matala herela tun kuna boya dam na lewri ala man tagalawma so jani ko e kuma na jafa anna kuma anna ko se kuma ma fanani inshallah anna kuma di ala celebrate ma ba programme ga siya bi sunno so andi kuma dana mo ballu ma bi hagli dama anna lu fana ya lu fana di dola ka inshallah takata sallallahu alaihi wasallam ya
Bro, I'm bad with Ray. Bronya, we benta fanife. Tumoba many ya, Wulka Kunulong, Anka Bilong, Ambra Folosin Fanyaila, Willa so also. Abafo ko Liberia wo, abafo ko Guinea wo, abafo ko Mali wo, abafo ko Rwanda wo, abafo ko Burkina Faso. Obeata jomanaledi. Me abafo ko Mandingo. Abafo ko Mandingo. Ambelodi. Anya la tra e ba mo klemina boloma. Ambe yele du klemula. Wala la so so. Ikalon anka nyoye ke ala kubidada kuna sinne teke. Anka nyoye ke. Bon. Alabram maninkadu Ibrahim alabran jansa nyaire no maninkale kelen bite Afrique kono men na sabali ya herabu Ibrahim na ya fra ko unko munanko fefe na la fo unko ça fait kunya katoro kunya ka wolero jula wolero Mandingo wolero ikafo ki boni liberale boni Casamance le boy boni fingala obe wolero Ibrahim o tafan fe an kɔni an yala tara an ye sila bila an den nu an'an mamaren nu min toto yan Ibrahim an ye sila bila lukɔrɔ sanfɛ an ye bɛn yira ka la ni falu ma bɛn den tɛ se bɛnna habadan ni nalu ma bɛn den tɛ se bɛnna wala sɔrɔ ni min fana ɲɛ wɛrɛ sini sa fo ka bolo don ɲɔgɔn bolo de n'a m'an bolo don a ɲɔgɔn bolo a tɛ se bɛnna. Bon, nka kuma do fo ana nyoye do la ani na ko ani koko kala tun kwa dam na nema sanche me seini san woro la ko do Mandingo kisi kala Afrika Mandingo dan vraiment wol fana kisi woro lo ka fo ko ko bembalia troro mais alu kisi ko bankara be ka lon ka fo ka lui Mandingo ledi mo bel trando sa me Mandingo la ko la da no ta ani men fola ko Mandingo to da ko tu ola so anye anya hakila nyonka o kote ye Mandingo nyonte mente sera bena ola so ba hakita assalamu alaikum
beri duri fo inshallah jani micro la temi fanani kuma kire fo fana jani anye be ana gabla ni fana kono iba me ka fugo fere da ko ambe bara na sika bo America bi ko ya ka kwangire la dan andu sini subi na fere da na lu ambare ma musolu groupe mi yalbolo ya no ko melonie United States la na ya kera nya susuma na lu ma se bena asiama sama no milal ko na se bena ma fo ko kera yalo tede kono kala musolu la kere misen ate banda alwe benal ala lonne ka fuko modi sika ke serero ani sika ke sere tandi sika ke jamana kono sere ulbe ani ye benaro ka fuko kwanye sere berero ko ambe barema ani sika kulu ke klindi kulu ba unta ba wuli afare di doaro afana te donaro nyawuru nade anya donaro ka fuko kan barema tale ka kuma misen baro kan ni dia anyoye ka fuko ala ka heremi kanye ambe ho heredi abo inshallah usazola Maraban na ko kona ta so inshallah
Assalamu alaikum. Akuma mi kuna ni we amina akuma agbe yani focus adama and da lumi wala wole ba o menye kumale me mo abaden suso ya no ni bi na fe abbe ya lo kafo ala na herele ka mwanye kafo nu ma sibi ko mo menye ya la da we herele ala ma obi abbe hali yolo donc ala be obi a iti hali yolo i hakisi i famaji alanye i dinye nyote mate se si ama gbanza ni majini ni mama si la su anitere ko ala jafa mama ko ala dinye mwanye mata fa dinye enyonya na fa ka be mai nga no ama fa ka mi da sebe labie talikulo ka be me ya ma nu ya fa ka mi da sebe labie talikulo ka be me ya ma ba talikule jama na bela ma jama na mi kono ni wo taliku ye be ta Philadelphia ya no ita taliku tiaye ya kram aya mo bawo ama alabi ama golondula mo bae ba yoro bele wa shama ya na jia mala ko ala kimbe sale dafani fele jombela donc ni kafoko iya mo ba golondula kama she fa kimbe sa fe ile tena mo ba shola itena bu kojiko so minde menye ya la wolo bi minde menye ya la bi na fa ka ma inga dinu mission ni kunu wo be atene afake nyolo mva kuma na sama sise duma mache misi kono ana bia ko nku ofo amanye ko bede ni kadi no mi abalo weto ko bia ko abeta je dois aller abeta sana nyaka kotinya nke afa di shoe no kakulatola mu miri menye ya koma ma lo ka fo ma history le mani bi kake ma fa kaminde sebe ma talikula wa fo kunne ka wala kunde komina wote ta nyefe kun fana be ka la ma dinye ka atinyai kallo ka fo alakene dafane. No one is perfect. No one will never be perfect but God. We have to know how to forgive. We have to accept. We have to help. If you put someone on a leadership, that person will never make it unless all of us join together to help him. When he's short somewhere, we will be there to make that happen. That's our problem. And I believe it's time now for the Mandingo community to grow. I'm sorry if anybody take offense to that. We need to grow. We need to rewrite our history. It is time for that. What are we going to leg to our grandchildren in Liberia? Our own people are calling Alaji Kroma warlord. I'm sorry. But this country where we're talking today was under the power of the Queen of England. Some people here had to say enough is enough. They could be called warlord, but they are called in this country the founding fathers. Do we have founding fathers? Are we going to have some heroes in Liberia representing the Mandingo community? I'm from Guinea, but I'm Mandingo before becoming Guinean. I said that earlier. My father was born in Pen, Liberia, but raised in Guinea. But you know what? I was very happy. I was blessed to see young Mandingo fellows getting up and arming themselves to go defend the name of Mandingo, the dignity of Mandingo in Liberia, because we was called the foreigners. Now today we're trying to change that. Today, that effort that made us equal to anybody in Liberia to step forward and speak for ourselves, we're trying to put that down. The young fellow Mandingo people. So what I'm asking you all here today, please, the people representing us in Liberia, our elders, our leaders, they're not perfect. They will never be perfect. But when we measure what they accomplish versus what we mad at them for, if what they did accomplish for us, for the Mandingo community, for the name of Mandingo, the history, the dignity of Mandingo, let's take that. Let's go with that and let's forgive them. Other than that, not only we blocking the way for ourselves, we blocking the way for our great-grandchildren. Don't ask me whether I like that man or not. But what I know for sure, he was the president that conducted Guinea to the independence in 1958. What I know about him also, I was able to go to school from first grade and graduate from to the university. I'm an engineer. I have not paid a dime, nor my father paid a penny. He made that possible through the politics he chose to apply in Guinea. Here in America, you can study to the high school, that's it. You go to the university, you have to pay. If your father is rich, you can be a lawyer, doctor, etc. If not, I'm sorry. But when he passed, Mandingo people come to realize that he was a protection to Mandingo people, but we did not know when he was there. Because at that point in time, we were not allowed to take the floor and speak. It was a war, underground war against Mandingo people. And I believe that spread. If Sekou Touré was alive, I don't think the war in Liberia would take place against Mandingo people. And it spread in our region. So please, I'm appealing to my brother Mandingo people here today. We need to be able to be agreeable, even though we do not agree. But let's be agreeable. Let's talk. If we don't talk, we're not going to understand one another. Let's sit down and talk, listen to one another. Let's not take our problem anymore somewhere else. I believe we are mature enough to solve our problem. I Jaffa Maninga kuma English canon. Nameka ndini beyani. So ndafeka na mese la timi ngono nyaminga nafeka afo nyaka. Wa ni mabade unkata dinye. Aye dinye, aye menye ya kweta. Be inyabo ichene yalo, mu inyalo sano. Ma menye ya majie. Ala na mo mulu shiola ka abia mwanye. Ala te ule. Wa ma dinye ma ama deme kama ala dan kata nyefe. Ma sela ma weche ma mo to ma kama kere. Ma te oye na. Menye wu nyoma kinyonke inyo weche mo to wu ma kama kere. Ma te sesela. A setole ma la shu anitire because nu banza mbende. Bembe ya so etilale. Ni maka be inyo weche. That is a mala. Mana mi ya mabe mewula wolewe. Yebe man the storyteller. Kada mi ya Ghana. Kata si Senegal. Kata si Gambia. Sanyi walking. I'll challenge you. Ta ita story buku be mafe. Menye na masaya akela. Oma kuyo boba. Menye na bana akela. Oma kuyo boba. Wa bi menye we afeka mala bi. Kata mashe bembe ya koso. Aye dinya ala koso. Aye dinya anami koso. Mu ibodi nyoma. Mu abe hacheto akasala la mabasi.
Coming for Benkuro. Igalo arma de amba benro asia mandike. Neba miri Chancellor doni liberal samina. Manika be wula o sankenela. Nigi miri ka foko mi kela manika Sudan kelema. Sudan kele kake almost 20 years. Somali kele kake. Molu bola jamana kono. Jamana tolu ka kele luke ka molu bo jamana kono san yika. Ana manika kele mi kera Liberia. O sankele no ka bo 1990 na tuwa kan ko sai. Ama on conseil doni ka kana fana ka na soko no kama saya fana nita. Alma o ke benyede. Ni ala ka ke ileminye. Ikana wuje ka joro. Yala ko ala le kitino la ala le fana ka baraka do yiro ka fuyo ke ben di ko se manke na fana benaro fana di se ka Liberia mara ansini do menalo kunao akaranya man se ka lumara ko fanye berole momi ka sake saraka de mika munika dolo ke saraka di fro wati wala te kanya fanye sanjere ko do ka nyabu ya dabla do bismillah
Allahumma salam alaihi wa sallim. Ini aikadinya na feni kuma tabu kano. Kama so mivolo ina. Ini ngada manya kama ditabefola. Okay. Okay, ailele. Afro my mine wole ka hake madali ke jamala modern year aidinya ka ke lo aidinya ma ke lo wa eboni kwadu bonile bingani beka kwadu boni ga wilo manya yanya aya sita ya ketai lai yulele nena klaya president flanal manga omalo misini le demande da fla dana nana ka president kurole ni ke flanal ko ko tmini wala labiya manya makele mona bekala kapti adi kala nala dulo ini mingani kwadu boni ya sabule wa mafe kamemvo manya ya brodo jikolo kamo ke klene mo fanga welo we klana lo aiso dogro lo kafu jama susu fanga te jamala nudo ti nyombro ay fa lo ja ay brodo nyombro mi do mina bi ay fanga male ala tako du nyamino mina fanga di laima ole kange kri nyale fragbe do gana ne owe ke sanyi kemelolu ani sanyi tani lolu ge manya do du mino minzewene asewe imro afuna library la ja owe ke sanyi kemelolu ngale waso nu akolo fragbe le du mino fragbe do di du mino October 12, 1492. Manya doja 1310. Kabo Mali, Kabo Lagine. Afana Sewene, ku secret route, ate Lagine konole, mo wite bla baton kono, ine mikrunule, manya uta asena kisia kono. Aya se jama ke kafa site kuruno kana America, no. Manya do sini kuruno aige nyinina fonye kasi kuruno ka aseno samakala siga wena klasiare manya wena kafo aina siga Christopher Columbus mimankai kafo ale na gano na fragbe benya ofranta ne lagine kaje visit kamaulu manyininga anatu naraja wuseweni I have Fabukuma, they came here before Christopher Columbus. All right. More for Naye, more by the woman Galan in Atu Nala. Ana Yingalikra, Kumanya Africa Talikum, there, sir, Kabla Labiama. Talikum, more bro. More by Nalona. Mindena Manya Biala, Labia Kaye, Nafeka Kundorigla, and Malo. Labia Cabinet of Macoponians. Mafra Mabiko American Liberians. Urudo do Kono. I don't need Darumina. And number 1, Quiet Siagini. Number 2, I business seeker. Number 3, I Christian Yala do Kono. Number 3, Kokamorinya Maka Kasere Gilaela. I don't fanate Gulaele. I te Shakile, I Fangelarule, I Sanada Marule. I don't do Kono Labia, I'm a professional in Mogro from Banyak Bazan. I look at Trabu Serelo, Nute Arabilo. Trabu Yara Labia, Nute Trabu, now from Manya. Mom in the Manya Beku, Masa Bekuna Labia. I tell for Mako Sauboso, Kamara, Mania. Aleta manya do minala masa do mina ka kunte ko te bolo labia lo ben basalu u ke ni mo kun roi kadu fele labia ka to maruma allo ka fo mo ra fe kai jero be kai ke dule basalu ni kunu ka doru kiwuli wa na do mi fele la kala sei black any more in the echo. Kesa boso. More about moko. Do more ruling. Krekafe ya bro. I walani. I fake a moka. Ina imo makle. Sa boso bra. Bo koma. Afa mako bo polu. Aleta wi amasakele. Sevi Yakolo, Sevi Kano, Mom not a wate, Maninya, Bani, Fila, Toma, Belese, Ute Wia. Akirikatra Sino Blacko, Kata Morovia, Kamarula de Kumindeleja, Basa we mi madu leko, Kamasalu na name rule. I do fele kohin. I saw don't kohin. I na we mimina more ruler, or I na we mimina la, Kadu die brawler. I do le. When an Africa fire be, Alumina do sana, men no, I have protection. In the Masami doki we would to, Canadu Koreganoni, I ingili. Men na like ya, Getabe Kuntela. O Naka Temina. I can write off a Marco King George. We more than mortal here? No. Mogby and ye, I take off Mogby and ye more Kesson Belema, while Master Redum. A camino, Amawola, I better finish. No Masavelo. Manya new real Labia Catalunya, Fambe, Amasavela, Amanobalo. Mama nyamo so si ni I won be wela kata America fambe mo bre mu ka se we mo bi do bro ka fo begeta New York mo do ma sialo mama nyamo so de o ka mne na ni wele manya ya baraka wa fatimi dele mola aya fa be makange klinya makanda krona lo mola ndela ewe manya bro ini nyombro ma history law afoko masafanga madowi wuli o sondi ataketa teteme o samaitre teteme ene wote mombro ti nyombro minde law maninya amabito tema be kawiyani mobadi ni bele 5,000 loja kamobro du nyombro ma history kajan wa mama majerelo manya manyingala bi moboni mene modo majelo I'm not bebani malile. That's not true. Mona name Mali. Trouble na fola. Umobani fragmedo acha famako Horian. Horian rubani mene. Do me to 7 who talk life or do mabiko Iraq. You thought what to Mesopotamia. Be Horian ka wotem to dunia kono. Wataburu kai. Aya historian doko Basi Davison Nico. A historical history of Africa. Kohorian to Nima Manya Rila. Wuhorian Kerudo Nani Ka Akadian Lu Ruke for more than 10 years. Kata Egypt. Flana Nuta Joatimino. Kajimina Kajiruke Sanitaniko. Kupona to Nala Sudan. Elabia kato mo manginga bi minuto menyale abeka kwa aboni Sudan. Aboni Sudan mene amagilo. Mo brawia kana Mali. Wa before me na Mali. Mi gro Dakar ku Ghana. Oda kani wa temindo ko 350 BCE. Usanyi wa fila sanyi kemewolo sanyi binani ansanyi lorulebi. Wo history mo bro. Try mindele mola minino no history bro. Wa mindele mola nyinina. Fanga weka mola. Afanga weka dufela ai bro nyombro. Afanga weka nyala ai bro du nyombro. So ma fe. Mina we need a new bro. To really. Inakada labi yala. Ami gija. Milo ja manya du susulo ini me ambassador labo kaila timi ai kuma moru fe region kono ai lo ka fo manya ya ama bunya kibro no nyobro ka mo kekele fragwelu ya se mo juru ya se la komi mo million worele Africa kono mo juru ya se ko mo million we se million bi woro utetrone I mean loja kibro do nyombro ka region lada juya manya ko dunya fambe bi ma juya dori mene ai mo kono ai labiya ma juya jamilo mo fangalo ni jamilo katimi frafinala ina mi soro do moma ni na le na pa 5 isimi ko su beweke colonization do ka fa mo majema ma so mo majema la ne ka nyina moko atebe Christian ya alawe dufe muslimi ya alawe wanga juya mi moko kaboja ade monster de la aile mukaka kalo ami do di yongo ni mosoro do akato sawno
ini kemi do kuna la ibaraji nana ni kuma da tini pana ni nana ni kuma da tini anya faka fole ka ko kuma la minu la toko anya kuma da suriya parce que la pana kuma do al pana dise ka kanila kan insha Allah jani nyem ko pana da tini ambe ya no bi ambra ko damna entre Conakry wati na Liberian kala damra leon chama baluko ko ala ko ma ko ala ko be si moro ya no ka kenedi ko be black runa na kam black runa si mo ko na no ka kenedi ne ko ala nyana ko ala ko black runa ko kera mi keni ala la kera tere kera mo balu tere wala ka din tolko ko andino to ko kan keta ko ke mo balu di wa kera kedia ko litwaro ngobi alden ne wala albra fi sauda ka lusi ka alden na wa kera kedia ko black runa wa kera kedia ile braila duata beke chance kele mi le bulu ko ka wal ke maka wala soro herero ita jiyar kele ke kele ni ba wa kele ni ba bai kala ko ibeni te korma o ke mba ko no ka le wa vasai ko din salo ka black runa ko le wa ma ibrame bare mi na nani tiambi ambra si ando bi ko anye bare la am bare mal ko ala ka man ka la de iba fu ko yeba ka bangal la de ibra ko ba fo ni fana ka ke ibra ko ba ke kono ni fana ka isi ka fu ko nyaka ko la denke am baba la deni bela alors sika ka ke doni ka dano yakela nyamma abando lo bina pe ka nyina ko beko ko akere ko sanwula ko anka nyona de ko belale mune boraro fo ma boro anka na ke usudi am ba fu ka nye ko kela aluka miria mitajo ala yo fankadi aluma ale to ako itase iba miria suzuta ka fu nya ka ke ni hankili serala ni paka sa idise ka ke so nya ka mi pokona andulu fona mi yano tiya fana manikala ana mo baka fu ko blakurun ko be mi la ko le odi kono manikala fana fe kele yanda anyo fana dabla ni la denke la mobadi ate la bla kurni buta brake la mobali di buto so nya fana ya bunya ni ka mo mi ke mansadi ya bunya ni ma bunya ni ka doya ala fana ka ala bra la bunya ko ni ya ka doya ala fana la doya ani nan ko se kuma ma fana inshallah Umar dala bismillah so ani se ka kuma la sunya parce que na lonna do fana rana al fana dise ka dola ka inshallah
mani banyo anula nani ja andena mena jano kono dia le moka ke kono dia o fe ani ka sianlele kono dia ve na ke mesia we mindele kuma te modo ni lu fe moni modelu ni jusini di mi oni jano bi anye kai la lele mona fe mi senana ana wala wulilan kenali kamle na fola ye are moy mo we kala jusi mo badelu wote ala mo genya ay wuli tole alu kata kundile na fe na foye ay mi la jela ma ta kundile akata jonele jon manyaye ele alu kata bala moye kamo kuna wuli mo julu kala jusi mo jela wote ena mi wuli ena me kuna wuli ko de mayala alu do fana kata kuli ya mi na temena ena mamlate manyaya tinonto so awi wuli la ini sini moka la gajiro ay famaji ay nyalaka ay tesri no sita association mine social organisation te association mine ju kelele mine fama kelele mine bama kelele mine ena kaye wala anya ka kemo ba anya ka danyo lulo muri bala fe wallahi motabe kan mo kamita kabo jalon bi aki wuli ka fa ne representer avec brofire avec kobele mo binda ni mo kabe manya beta ndo akatala butu mo wuli biato organisation mi sanyi jirika ene kata nyu soroni mo fanyu na fra moye de ma nyozi eba mo na jusi a sanyi wona ko la sena kulma la hinala alaji kulma mini bi mo la kala kwa kana mo na wina jusira mo ta ni yo na woli bola mo ta ni wona la kamo ben kangrema mo ka afan beke mi ka to ko wona so se ami constitution severe ala tema la nyini mo te nyina ko mo nyina de ka fa mo te ke mo te wesia ala ve lu jusa gbe ya bi ave na ka jusi ne lo ni ja ko do ngono moneni ko do ami kabla ala ka ju kala la inyama siri mo mini juso bola e bula tero ayekre ave bana asibona mo e bana ma conference la ko se ba ja mo site na kito mo mama mo kay lali wallahi akato mo kuna wula salamu alaikum Allahu akbar Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ala mo diama. Dinuna bare min gani kata ne soyene de manyona yemba la biyo kono. Kala la dia kala ta nyefa la oke. Komi yo brother Mota na fatim na jusi do. Nu mu refle da fia yano amo ben fa be ne ba. Sani mo na to mo ba ne ma wuki la. Kunyiki ya bolo ben. Wa kai bana ma dia do ben. Wa tomo mu li awulu ben de. Wa ka nu ben de di nu ben de di. Ma jande ne fo. Wa mu le ja tomo fa ne nyona den ka ben. Kele mi ga ke fenfen wo che bona. Ka wo lo ben. Wa ka du wesu de di nu ma. Mo fa na mo du ka di nu ni ana ba nga ala wata nyefe ala wata nyefe ala kana mo ala pin ala mo di nyonye assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh
eno nyafka example kile daluma kabo libra kelema kabo kenema wati la ha ka se Sierra Leone kana se Liberia manikalo tere kelela wati mina kabo bebe ne aro wati mina idi surasi de bi lulu ye wati wala morofa fla morofa sabaya dulburo ale waka kafuko wallahi kwani wacha atala moluko alu benaro wati wala morofa masia kono fankaya la development ro mole wakantu mole kerela wati be yabla ko yurumo ba avancer katati kono kabi morofa kisel forola duna mumli ba kono kana kabi su yali misen damna la kabi nyambo ya damna la koro momli kula de pane fakasa bolo dio nyambo ya damna la wati mina jo annasila kago kisati bolo wati mina jo ala ka victoire dima kisa fora na ambion ko wati mina ki fanka doya wokera kumina wokera nyambo ya le famba ka foni mo bembali ak dona molute i fanka di doya ila baraka di doya ila Allah ko luro so nyam ka nka example dile ka yira ka ko nam benaro andi se ka ko semake nam benaro libra jamana o andi se ka mara andu fana mi siniambi iba mosu manika bi arabe ko alaji ko need to do something Dr. Conte need to do something. Ambra wasila sambi na no. Anlu mi adulu ma folo. Angu na milan anjira ma wati juma. Faul ba fa ale folo jana fana mi anjira ma ka fana disika ke kodi. So now the responsibility is ours. We're not young anymore. Now we can take the harm ourselves now. So it's too late now for you to keep saying this person is there, the person is there. So now ka kuma to me Mr. Dumuya.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Ai hachete nenga free nenga de blesse marawula ma wonne. Ne kuma mvora ni do utimini kuma mulo kafa aye. Bebe wo jate ye. Bebe wo miliaye. Ngato exemple le dila. Colonisation watelo kere mina kela lagine na indépendance yola ngoto exemple diara dinula motimini bino lagine betege yala foi tita mobo mo fa tita mobo foi tita mobo parti kuru na kala lagin ayitu malo parti kuru na kemingela be kadita parti lo lagin ka gbanza ka ki enyo majule ki nyon fois qui on va voir elle est radiale elle est piadelle elle est pralele elle est progressiste le ka jamana dempe qui on va voir parce que tout est à Nyonya Braza Afrique centrale la conférence qui quoi est fraful quoi est moro tratra note mo benabe grève nani kelawelo ka kalo jidika ke grève kenlo wosi eleteni ka wosi ate aka photo uye ana la den wingala Braza to uni winga France contre la ka France mi almauni anglais ou anani kana conférence ke Braza ka fo frafu uye kwa ya dendi kata France makara kona ka dendi ne France cassé kwa be na France récompense frafi dem boni wonyale kan kata France kutirailleurs sénégalais atani France na semingala ma woko imalo wosi asimulu koseni kana akana wula je charo e Dakar ka wulu te ko annati asara la ko ko daro kon la lundi 4h du matin akana kana mo fa ci obela e kun ka duba degese ka bekalo ali ni monument lo na ka ma leader politique mindi be sa se kutro wuye ko fa e bialo Wakeni dit, De Gaulle n'a pas dit voici l'indépendance à votre portée les Africains. Hein? Celui qui veut l'indépendance, ça y est à votre portée, vous pouvez la prendre. La France ne fera pas d'obstacle. Si vous voulez travailler avec la France accepte. Bon, moi, maquet. Quoi, bien indépendant, cas de France, cas de Moma, que moi, c'est indépendant, que Frafi, que nous, c'est indépendant, que Kuyata. Qu'on est demandé indépendant que ni ka fini France ba kwa ibare bon be ka fo kwa ya ko lagina ka fo kwa ta ko o kan ni tu parti si amamini ate lagina mo bi yon va ki yon va ka se de la diabitu c'est gbanu bitu parti est responsable ou ki yon a de no fo alu fon je sais que ba wule parti responsable ou ki yon a de akomo mi de mamine biazo Rao, progressiste, hérédial, amo beteba, amo partiki ndate, mo betale we. Mingani minao, mo mivano, benyini taoko, amo partiki ndate, mo bewele, kajacho ula. Wekeni hérédiale. Wekeni hérédiale, o présidente sekuturelele. Akeni président nyamunga olewe. Akakanka ilawo ko sulema ko timini labiye ko lo kereke ko lo kerebe kala ça c'est ubi wila beta secret la femi zioto woto le bitin ana nika sarakamine wo fe woto da fene bon ne minga watri nyuma baso ne ma watri so ne do commandandile manga ka mona ka fo watri balo na ndika sarakamine woni sarakawe ngaka ka wole considérer ka san e bitin ka femi zoni ke ko na nile ka sarakale kan vaja na makara kama de mu makara zala wala bu mutar be watri baso jumande be mercedes so findene bu ne do ko danle pa alu kenye aje kani ana nimi nga sarakale alu kenye jamba ke ko dun ka ke sabre ka ulu fo bone ka yabare be ke di ay lo jafo ni jewu na kuma kuno sunyani kala wo joro leka ko timini ko komulu temina ko do bela ay le ben ka sieta ko yake ka menia la titre mina boni dunia kono e be menia de londi kani Londres ana mo kay walidi a compagnie mo uma a délégation mo uma gabone uma ko en kwata diana vinza wuri nani wora kana chedana lende butiki badi da ko ulu mos mundere menya ale en anglais kan dadi kono alwe adu mado wula we ayedien mota to ma fa sa bia mo fa adu bia fe president kana foko Comment sont les gens? Combien de minutes à Ibaraka bon ko ulen? Awe menya dunya tubuna ni fambele. Tunyare de. Menya titre ni kanyaye. Menya karambele na mala ko kama foike. Me ata itataya jolo mo karani baba gwanza makala de kalabo. Allahu akbar. Allahu akbar. Kubale we. Ile makran. Izi mo karan banza wuce ile ulla da kalabara na waka menyare. Awu makara. A besin gono yo ya tuye. A nyongo fenga tuye. A capitalisme milliard tuye. Luxe. Secrétaire dina fola ko dunya mindele. Sexe. Argent. Ôte-toi que je m'y mette. Bestialité. Vous voyez? Sexe. Monsieur Konite Koyewelo. Argent. Fortune. Ôte-toi que je m'y mette. Boy, place le nembiaye. Place kango kiele. Ou bien que tu as fait. Bestialité en anglais. Best. Quand faut y dire le truc animal. A où le tuer. Ainyalo aya fata mana makara aya dignité makara aya meya la kungota ala masra di wala mo
Inike baraka. Program will be starting very soon, but like we said earlier, this is the 16th year since the war in Liberia. But do you imagine after 16 years people stay angry? You imagine somebody carrying anger for 16 years? Can you imagine if you had just transformed that energy into doing positive things? You know how much you could do for your community? Traveling with hate for 16 years, you know, there's so much problem that we have that we need to fix. And before I pass the mic on, I just want to say again to our organizers again, you have told us that you have an intent to form a federation. You have told us that you have the intent to take this community from where it is today. Hypothetically, I will say Alhaji Nkrumah has failed us. I will say that hypothetically. I will say Asmana Nkrumah has failed us. I will say Kafuma Kone has failed us. All our elders have failed. Now we want to take the challenge now. That's what we're saying, right? So that's what we're saying. And so we got to take the mantle from today. We're saying today is a historic day for us. This is what we intend to do. And we intend to do the mistake they made, the elders made. We cannot make the same mistake. Those same mistake that the fathers are told about, that same mistake, we got to avoid that mistake. That same mistake, the person thing the authority, that same mistake, we got to avoid it. We got to avoid making the same mistake over and over. The people say, when you're knocking the door, expect to put a hole on the door and there's no hole can come and you're still knocking, that's sign of insanity. If we're making the same mistake over and over, that's the sign that we are just crazy. We're making the same mistake over and over. We need to learn from each other. So I'll pass the microphone to Uncle Sini, that you make the last comment because we're running out of time, and then I'll guess them, we'll just welcome them, inshallah. So Uncle Sini, bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum. Kumi ikala ko ni nyame mate kuma siama barafo ke mobalu siama barakuma yemi ambe ya le kuma kelenika. Me kuma ni ne kaye nyame ma. Kuma ni anna ni feme da bia kun jere yemini. Wole kasila ida ka denu na. Alu denu mini ye BBT. Kuma ni adresse na minu ma. Am mobalu bansa ni nyonte kele mise minu baratama ni nyonte alu taturo. Parce que ni k'a fɔ ko kɛlɛ min bara tɛmɛ ile barikɛ ni dɔw fa dɔɔni tɛ I b'a fɔ ko I semdala dɔ I ye baara min na I tɛ o le kalama n'i y'a kalama I la kunko tɛ o di ile la problème tɛ o di parce que I b'a ye maninka fɛn fɛn ni k'a min bɛ ye ne min ye nin ne tɔgɔ de ko Seni Berete mais ni ka kuma la sama sɛ ne mɔgɔ dɔlu ye kɔrɔma ni Liberian minnu ka ale t'a fɔ ko Seni Sila mun na n'ale ye Sila di n tɔgɔla ni min na o tɔgɔ ko Seni Sila a sɛbɛn ye n bolo n tɛ se a yira k'a la fana k'a prouver ko tɔgɔ ko Seni Sila n'a ka n diya fana n'a fɔ ko n tɔgɔ ko Seni Nkrumah ne mo muso kroma le di na kan dia fana da fo ko Seni Keta le fana na kan dia da fo ko Seni Kabala le fana ne Berete jele le ndo Kroma jele ndo Amara jele ndo Keta jele ndo kaba kala o fana ka sirifu muso fla le bolo be masari ke do bara kele na bolo Ibrahim so anya njere da fana na nya joma alu min ba fo kale kele kala masari ke mi na ne muso tala mulasi ni ko fe ya fe nyanka ka utuma le ne no la fana badi okay ba kuma yero mi na woli ma nanya kuma la manika koka da fara bota manika ni nyonde ni kan ko da fara bokire la manika ni nyonde yijere trole la parce que ita lon ka fo ko ni moye mo kile ni fo ko ya soron to mamina ko ba soron to mamina ya lo to baraka de kile parce que kuma yero mi no ile do so sini mo mi ku i bɛ fato ɲa mɛ tɛna fɔ ko i dɔgɔmuso den ti den di ne ni ne dɔgɔmuso den ye cɛ kelen den de di ele la fɔ ko i badema tɛ ne di ni badema tɛ ni dɔgɔmuso den kɔni badema de di an ɲɛ fana na di an tɛ se ka fana ou bien n'i ma sɔn o fana ma mɔgɔ min ye ne kɔ kan fa n'a k'i ma sɔrɔ a di le fɔlɔ fa a damina se ne ma kɛlɛ min nabila la Libéria min nana Sarlo min nana Laginɛ ale kelen wele tɛrɛ o mɔgɔ min kɛlɛ wuli Libéria ale tɛ i maninka la si min ali kɔle ko maninka le di ali ma ko tɛ si la o Kamara le di Keta le di Sirifu le di il a affaire le wele mais ali kɔ ko maninka le yɔrɔ ye maninka dɔw fara ale tɛ maninka kan yɛrɛ mɛn na ne dunya dɔ tɛrɛ ye Sarlo k'a la a tɔ la ko mɔmɔ masari a tɛ maninka kan kelen pe mɛn na mais a fara ko ba n'a tɔ le ko masari mais ni k'a fɔ ɲɛna ko maninka a d'a fɛ ko maninka t'a ko mɛ ne n'a ye de ce fait adamadenya sila min yira kana na ala na maninka kunne di ala yɔrɔ min na k'a fɔ min ala tɛ mɔgɔ si janfala ala ye bɛɛ sɔla i t'ale la mais an na kunne diya kɛnɛ yɔrɔ min ye ala n'an sɔla maninkaya yɔrɔ min na o kayira o y'an ka kabe ko k'a la kan fana silama landi an na kunne di yɔrɔ fila o la kan parce que i b'a ye n k'a fɔ n dunya san dɔ la n ko kafiriya ma bɛn maninka ma a ma di maninka la parce que diya min ye kafiriya la wole min bidiya ko y'a kɛ i fa dɔrɔn dɔ k'i la tiriti la k'i bon ni sugu la kɛ maninka tɛ sɔn o ma ni k'a kɛ i n'a fɔ k'i bɛ kɛ mɔdakolon di badi ok ma wole danfara bɔ y'a ni mɔgɔ tɔw ni k'i su lɔ i kɔrɔ tun bɛ kɛ mɔgɔ lu jugu di wari ko t'o ma karan t'o ma hali bɛɛ b'a fɔ sa k'ale maninka minnu ma karan ko n'a dara jamana in kan fan fan b'a di a k'ale se wala ye dolu mɔgɔ karanni ka ɲa ni min kɛra ile karanbali na o kɛla tuma dɔ lɔnni dɔ de la i ma min lɔn parce que adamaden ye wele de lɔnni dɔ ye la i m'a lɔn fo ni k'a ɲɛɲini de y'a lɔn ne ka karan dɔlu kɛ Laginɛ ni ka ma ɲininka ko n y'a ɲɛfɔ n tɛ se a ɲɛfɔ la ɲɛ mais ni k'a fɔ ko n y'a labaara n t'a labaara fɔlɔ ne tɛ se l'o la jaba dɔ ka kuma mais wallahi n bɛ ko kelen f'i ɲɛna i la ni mɔgɔ min na k'a fɔ mɔgɔ min ma sila ni mɔgɔ bɛɛ di ni ka ne se ni na la a ɲɛkɔrɔ min kɔnɔ n t'a f'a ɲɛna ne silamɛ baramɔgɔw de ɲɛ o n'o tɛ mɔgɔ wɛrɛ fanka ye mɔgɔ min na i bɛ ne lɔ a la a ɲɛkɔrɔ mɔgɔ dɔ ka kuma dɔ fɔ Alaji Kuruma ma ne ma Laginɛ n k'a f'a ɲɛna ko n ye fɛn min fɔra i ɲɛ n ko ne tɔgɔ ko Seni Berete i ye kuma min fɔla ten n ko i da ja a fɔ ma n ko lɔn dɔ dɔn ni ne ɲani an y'a bɛɛ la ɲɔgɔn kan yɔrɔ min dɔn n ko wallahi n'ale k'i su ye ou bien n'ale ka ne su ye i y'a fɔ ko ɲamɔgɔden de a wara fɔ jamana masakɛ ɲɛ o k'a ka min fɔ k'i k'a mɛn non k'a ka min fɔ ko fa la ko fa t'a dɔn de ko n'i ka cɛbakɔrɔ y'a bara baara bolo kan ko nu san tan ni kɔ la Amerika bara baara bolo kan ka ne si Laginɛ yan ni Alaji Kuruma fa t'a dɔn Seni Berete fa t'a dɔn k'olu si ni fɛn min na Laginɛ i de m'a lɔn ko ko min la n'alu ka i m'a lɔn ko mais ni k'i tora la ko wallahi n'i fagara k'i bɛ don jahanama Laginɛ masakɛ yɛrɛ de k'a f'a ɲɛna ma kuma a yɔrɔ min dɔ wele wele adamaden ni ala ka baraka ni i bɔra barakamalu dɔn ye ala tara i fana dɔ sɔrɔ o barakalu dɔn ne ka lɔnni dɔ sɔrɔ an na cɛmɔba dɔlu fɛ Laginɛ kuma dɔli ye a b'a fɔ ɲɛna ni kɔnɔna fila kɔrɔ min di n sera y'ale kamalen nin yomandi a sini fɛlɛ nin ale Alaji Kuruma la ko min na ko cɛ de tɛ nin tɛ non cɛmɔba minnu taara kɔfɛ olu de cɛ di a balu kiri su min tɛlɛ minnu den k'a kɔrɔ la a balu kiri su min tɛlɛ di bolo kana kana k'a yele k'a fɔ cɛ nin ye ko min kɛra olu ma se ka min kɛ nin y'a fɛ ka wele kɛ an na cɛmɔba dɔ tɛra Alaji Berete wele k'a fɔ ne ma lon dɔ la k'a fɔ n yɛrɛ ɲɛna ka ko Seni ko n ye min fɔra n ye ko telɔ bɛ mina n ko k'a mina k'a bɛ mina n ko k'a mina ko k'a mina n k'a mina tɔ di k'a bɛ mina le k'a lasi k'a kiti n ko k'a bɛ mun ma a kan ko cɛ nin na ko min kɛra an na an tun ye Liberian an ye hamina le ka fɔ an di mɔgɔ tɔlu ma ko ɲa ɲa min ma Alaji Berete ka min fɔ ɲɛna k'ale tɛ hamina a yɛrɛ la bonsara la a tɛ hamina a yɛrɛ balola nka a hamina la a mɔgɔ tɔlu ma dɛmɛ ɲa min ma k'ale le la sigi ni kɔnakiri ten ale la balo ɲinina mɔgɔlu fɛ k'o lamɔdali ko mɔgɔ k'a kɛ i b'a kɛ silama la ko ala t'i to yen k'ale kelen tɛ mɔgɔ fila tɛ mɔgɔ saba tɛ ko maninka mɔgɔba min bɛ tɛrɛ Libéria a b'a bɛ kɛ misikina de ko wallahi ko tɛlɔ bɛ mina e la mara ko tɛlɔ mina ni international ko bolo k'ala si fɛn min na ten wallahi ni hakɛ tɛ i bɛ tɛlɔ la si kiti yɔrɔ mɔgɔ tɛ s'a la i sera la mun a ka mun kɛ ala bɛ kiti min a mina ni sariya min bɛɛ fɔ n'a kan na caji min bɛɛ la kan kuma t'a siri a bɛ fatoya ka mɛ hakɛ la kɔ hakɛ min y'a kɔ fana a tɛ se bɔla dɔn hali kɛ ma a tɛ b'a dɔn adamaden na ko yɔrɔ min na o de di fo de san kɔ min fana ale na min kɛla mɔgɔ mɔna de k'a seereya de k'a fɔ a ka ni ne ma dɛmɛ k'a lɔ ko nin na a bɛɛ bara faga kelen 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 fo de san kɔ saralen mɛ a kan ko ala jɛrɛ l'ale de mɔlu ka ko fatɔ de fatɔ tɛ hakɛ la y'a kɔ parce que ale kan ko silamɛya min tɛ tun yadi jɔ wele n'ala maliyala i b'a fɔ telɔ ɲɛ k'a fɔ k'a watɔ min na la telɔ ye hamina min na bi telɔ ka min fɔ wolo ale ye wuso bulu min tɛmɛna ten k'a d'a ma an d'a damu k'a tɔ to telɔ ka k'a la k'ale bara la rɔj b'a bolo k'a ye poteto green kɔ k'a tɛ s'a sɔrɔ la Ibrahima jamana masakɛ de kan ten ko poteto green fira bulu ko ala droit bara babulo ama kuma de ka fo ko albara benka albara no ka so la bra ke non ko na jamana damuni ne fidabulu di ka wole ko jondi sedo fidabulu no fe ne ba so ngonya fidabulu ko ya ni wala la dina duma ala yoro mi ba le sedo na fidabulu le ko ibro ye ma hake yo komina sela mo ma wole no so fe deni no ne ya fe kamin falunya e kana yela mari tenti la yela fe di parce que ni ka fa de ko ma do fo ifama wa sabe kuma yoro mi do biritanya yoro mi do deni no ali alo alla opportunité leni alu kan ka bara min kalilo ala ko min bara tabi ali hakili soro wole ma wo mo siama pala al bolo mi sallallahu la kasila ida kala wo siama pala al bolo atemam meni ka me ka ko kele mi yeneni modo de ga problem te wodi ma ko mi na itaw fo ale ni wara librairie la ibo e atodi buku ila mara la yoro mi da ni wara ye ile mako ila buku mi na yo wala wole ta yo wole kan imma kum ye yo le wala kono mais ni la ka ko no ne mako buku mi na wole ne buku to be nyata le la to be la ibara tinye de la se jamana de ce fan karaoke mo ba mi be kama ni ka che mo ba mi be fanfa abeata librairie le da dama loni doli ne la nka fendu lonche mo ba lu fen te sanja fala ni fo na ko na ratu mamina na ko na ratu mamina nya lo na automate ka fo al kamin fo nya kala teni de ce vali o tolo hakili la to mado degree tembulo mi da ya ka fo ko non ka karani ne ke che mo ba lu fe mais wallahi e ka mo la ko lo degree mi abulo hali dara mo ri ka fa ake doctor degree tan ye ka abulo ni kanine la si nyami fo la nya wallahi ta sa jadiba parce que nka jere sulo mbale mani ka ko joyi dedi ada fatofo ifa todi na ko fo ifa fatodi ado fo o fatodi kuma bara babulo ibrohe ni kanne mani kan ne di sa fo la nya ne to ko seni berete mfa to ko Usman berete u fatol ko Umar berete fatol ko Suleiman berete inyala kala mo min bra docteur digra bi o no fu nyina mani kan le tundi sa fo la iba me moto mina lafla ko tuma raboni masakabla la mo le sinin tremi alla ko lu sebala manum bara o ko normal le dambara ka fo isuya mindi ko normal le dambara ni mi suya lo fe de hakidi la ni ka e folon ka fola fola bara ko jeri min yan bara jeri ya e lonni ne mo do le ya londo wole to da kuma la ay ara do bona kuma la do wole ka ko jeli ko le ko griyo ne ka lo men ko non ko ma griyo ko lo men ka jeli ko lo a ko griyo ko muni ngo griyo ko femini nin ka funyira kantira kando di salo na mindo ko kanta la kanu katira kando ako ka lo kamera ngo ka lo kamera wole man ka kada ko jeli ngo ma te kamera do ngo ni se kami fina ni mi suruma ni wona doni ngo ka lo jeli mi arama den fadi de ko lo akan ko wai ni ka jeli sama ka barama den fadi ngo mu ikalala akadisa ngo bro yo kura ka ko wai ngo mama ni ka société do a fala mi ko jeli ni ka jeli bo man ka ya te ba ko la bedisa ngo parce ni problème wala man ka l'union te jelu la barale ni mo sara jelu la barale ni ya fe ka modo defudo jelu la barale arama denya tunkuntunku mi be wodi jelu le tere anatu la nyona mais to bolu na al ka fe folo mi kana folo al ka ko jelu di teatre la le di ko foli lo ko le foli kala jeli ay foli le di jo ya mi ti se foli kala jeli ya lonni ne di ni kamen ko jeliya lonni ne jeliya lonni fana boni rojuma manden kamen ko aljere ma ko morilu wolle ka manden ko nya sebe manden da fola nya manden da benanya me makado jelilu bolo kali anya fo mo ni donu ni na lonni nya nyini na kadaluma bibite ala anya jamana min kanti na fora mo ma ko ni loyal lady beda bunya ko mo kara ni ne e ba fo ko anthropologist le dim beda bunya ko mo kara ni ne e ba fo ko actor le na ko no ko mo sarama le ni e ba fo ko musicien ba le ni beda bunya obeye jeli ale kelente ni kamen ko jeli ye counselor le loyal anthropologist le historien le yeso lo fara kanyuma do akoro idi mimi be yalbe karani ali afa anglika do koro mi ya for anthropologist lawyer counselor advisor musician entertainer apebla kankele do ya for kankando ni ka kansusu ni ka la for ni sera for ni emani ka kane kelempe do so ni momen ka afina ko jeli korole ko griyo afanya ima griyo korolo ikama ima griyo korolo me ka jeli korolo mais ni sonda to ko griyo e jeli ledi ibiri la kantinya wala ima ya hali jamana ninka albewle ka ko mani ka boni malile min be kam mani ka isorlo wa mani ka jeli ma ya ko rojuma to mandeno ko mali ate yoro si tambara mi to ko mali mali impaya tambara mande impaya de fona fona ko mande wole foni mais momon ma fo nyalo ko mande am fana ba soma wotu ma jon turuni an me turuni mo ina kana ka isu ya fala nye ile mi sulo ma mo ba nya fala nye nya lo le do nya fala ile nya alumini nko fala mo ni ala ndenu ka ali ya falu nye femi sebene ali ya falu nye ante mo do ni tandi deni nu yando me kolombali tando ni ka do ka fo se ko manika ya agbelema emendi ko ambe ko naloma tando tunyado wedi me naloma ya ni kolombali atekele ndide modo ye lonni ni do yala me fo modo ala kuna afadido do so fa nya wole boloma ya tente alumenu be yante bamuso alumenu be yante ali janto molu ko do ye musolo de sakela chelu te sakela bala wusiama tamla musolo ni nyonte ni chelu ni musolo benado wallahi atwala yoro jak mais ni musolo ma bado ni ya fe ka kabila te ya da na musolo le folom ni bana musolo da jensena to mana ko waraka fiu jamana baraba wallahi jamana baraba parce que mi jamana kono ni wala jamana kono ni ya fa ko jamana musolo de jamana mo kallamadi wallahi jamana wodisi mais mo ba to ko jamana musolo mo da kolon ni ko to jamana te ka ni foni wodi jamana te ka ni foni wodi parce que bara te mi besi ni te muso mi be ku wo mo kelente mi da afinya ko ale afa ka sali ko ale afa muso isa ka na denu to wo mo site no mo ya odo ibolo la ile hali masanga ibolo la ile ira muso isa ka na denu to be ya fele yesa ki ni kai muso ni denu to ko ile e femi to le ko ni ka ko fento de saki ile te ko kalama na lu kalda ja kawandi romi do wallahi an wato yede na lu ka ke tolon ko di adila bambulo toloma na lu ka mo lu ye ka do ba na mo la ka fo mini afeka kere ni fena do ani nyonte ali kuma ni muso kasida denye ka fenfen fanya so bela data so bela muso be kasa ma muso amakenya ka fenfen fanya so bela data aluminu be te ante alfosi de falde na lu makelo do so alu mo dama mi ante to minu mana alal daja ka nyaira kalula ka fanya ko mi mate alula ko alu ya mademe anya femi na tandi sakala nyami ma dunyara teni ka gbele ka fo mo yesa imam o ko denu minu kan ka ton ko albiri lo baraka ma alu ya fe ka barakem halal ma nyalo anya nyaira kalula anya lo mademe ko ni se wala nyamba kuma mi nkono akasia ni ka fo ko nya be fo andi siyam do so fe wole nya fe kan lo yoro ndote ha kuma bere wuli tuma na wole sallallahu alaihi wasallam
ni ke hala baraji la teminya ka kuma kile fo momu ma la seni biditi long you know do sankura maroya sukono I wanted to emoso yidi lo follow me na to sit at the Duco Hotel ala ise medical uniform do wolone military uniform complete ka do an be doni dukola emoso na la garde ko ka pe ko de na import mercenary from other from Cuba they all over the country look at the big look at the huge man you saw the man in there with the uniform on I don't sound follow na ko the mercenary na enter Maria okay now we're going to change the program a little bit ana luna mi afana ka kuma jani Sheikh Dumo yana do okay so am badama mi look Minnesota ni kuma daloma adi hakan ni for jana nye kuma da team inshallah. Then from there we'll pass it on to our visitor.
I'm going to speak English, I'm sorry. I'm Ishmael Kumara, I'm a son of FKK who live in Philadelphia as well. I want to say 2 years ago, I had just finished college and I was thinking, what can I do? And I thought, well, it would be nice if I served my community. And I decided to run for the president of Minnesota Mandingo Association, and I was fortunate enough to become the president for that organization. And during that time, I thought, well, it would be wise to talk to brothers with similar ideas. And apparently I traveled to Philadelphia during that time. I drove actually 18 hours to meet with Richmond Connor. And I met with Richmond Connor and I explained to him, Richmond, this is the idea. I know this has been going on for a while, but it would be good that, you know, if we can bring this up. And I had the opportunity to meet with Brother Billy during that time, and we had a meeting and we both shared our dream and aspiration, and that aspiration was to see our people together. And tonight, we are all fortunate to be here together, and I'm so happy for that. But one thing I want to say, the reason why we gather here, our fathers, our mothers, our brothers, and our sisters, and our uncles have said a lot, and but I just feel like the reason why we gather here tonight is to not really sympathize with Elijah Kroma, none to neither did we gather here to stand against any of our brothers. Everyone is our brothers, both as Mandingo and brother in Islam as well, and we must learn to forgive no matter what difficult circumstances we might have faced with that person. And I think that is the sole purpose of the conference. The purpose of the conference is for me to look in the eyes of the brother tonight and say, brother, during the war, you are one of those who killed my brother, but I forgive you. And therefore, let bygone be bygone, and let's move on. Because you know what? If I fail to do that with Mutak, brother Mutak, what's gonna really happen is that he live in America, he take care of his bills. The person that really suffer, what I realize, is Seko in a refugee camp, is Mando in a refugee camp, who cannot go back to Ganta to claim her land, who cannot go back home to nourish her children. Those are the people that suffer. So we thought it would be wise if we put all our personal differences aside to come together, no matter what Alaji Kroma has done, no matter what I have done, no matter what you have done, no matter what she has done, to look us in the eyes and say, you know what, brother, I forgive you today. Can we come together and move our people forward? Can we uplift them? This is what this is about. I can tell you, we have intelligent people in your community. We have good people in your community. We have educated people in your community. We have lawyers in your community. We have doctors in our community. We have nurses in our community. We have good resources in our community. The purpose of this is to identify those resources and to put them to good use. And I think this should be an opportunity for us to come together. This is now a moment of division. I want to add, we do not have enemies among us. We have brothers who disagree with us strongly, and we must make them to understand that while we might have that disagreement, we must also have a common goal. There is a saying that there are many ways to the mountain, but there is one view. And that is to say that we all strongly feel that the Mandingo people need to be together. But the way they need to be together, this is where we disagree. But the fact is that we have a common goal, and therefore we can put aside our differences and unite. And therefore, I just don't challenge myself tonight. I challenge the youth and I challenge the elderly to say, you know what, tonight during this conference time, no matter what I have against somebody, I will forgive them and definitely will move on. I will hope tonight that the purpose of this tradition hours will be to identify conflicts that we know that are existing in our community, bring those people together to say, it is difficult, but we can do it because, like I said, we do pay our bills, but people out there are suffering. We hear the news all the time. We read it all the time. Ganta, Lofa, people are suffering. They need their land back. People have been harassed on a daily basis. They want to be supported. They want to live freely. They want to move freely. And therefore, if we fail to unite, that will not happen. I thank you for giving me the opportunity, and thank you very much. If I'm having to say anything against anybody, please forgive me. I'm young, and we are all subject to mistake. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Mara. Well, we can see that we're developing leaders in the community already. Well, we ask ourselves, 10 years with these great people around us, inshallah. We'll now call on North Carolina to make a comment, inshallah.
First of all, good evening. My name is Mohammed Sharif, son of Alhaji Fantamadi Sharif. A lot of you here probably may have, probably worked at some point with the Omer back home. This is a very absolute stuff here. I'm very honored to be here with the North Carolina delegates. Here tonight is this evening is Mr. Vamuya Salif, who is our Association of North Carolina. And then we also have Mamiata, and also the person who does, make everything happen for us back there. And I serve as the Secretary General. Having said this, I'm particularly thrilled for the quality of people we have here this evening. currently we have a situation like this in North Carolina where we're really trying to explain to our community our rightful place in society, whether that is in the U.S. or it is back home. One thing I must say, patience is a virtue. Let's practice patience. And we should also know that as Mandingo, if you look at the histories that our knowledgeable people just explained to us just a few minutes ago, we are first class. First class. Let's put that in the back of our mind. We are first class in everything. Once we realize that, then we can actually elevate to the positions we need to be. We need to have dialogues in our communities. And when we were told that this is what's going to be happening here, this is the beginning of that, we were very thrilled to canvas around one another to make this trip. I would like to say to my brothers and sisters and our mothers here as well, success is what brought us here. And in my view, success basically is measured by three things, basically. Your heritage, you got to take care of your heritage. Politics, no matter what, how you see it, whether you like it or not, we all have to be politically involved. Economics is something we have to understand as a community. I'm gonna go back to the first one. Our heritage is what we're doing right, is part of that we do right now, which is our culture, our religion, how we live, our history. They are a very important part of our life. We need to have our children understand these things so that when we are not here, they should carry on these things. It should be our legacy. So that they should carry on the work our grandfathers and great-grandfathers have done. So it is very important. There's a lot of things concealed into our heritage. I don't want to prolong this thing right here. The number two is politics. Why politics? Every man by virtue, by nature, you are a politician. Whether you like it or not, you are a politician. In your own house, you use politics between your wife, your children, your neighbor. You implement politics to make things happen. This is another level of politics. Our community, we should inform each other. We should be patient with one another so that we can all be politically informed. It is very, very, very essential in our community. All right. And besides that, the last thing I will say here tonight, we all have to be kind of economically informed. There is a wealth circulating in our community. Liberia today, you see, we send a lot of Western Union than any other person. And that makes the economy to move over there. It's our people being served. Those are questions. I think those are some of the things, fundamental things that actually make us to make the trip, this long journey here to discuss them, to understand these things is very important to us. So without taking too much of the time this evening, I will say again that we are very thrilled to be here, and there's a lot of issues we here to understand. Some of us here to really be observers. And we hope to hear a lot of things from you guys that we can take back with us, learn some things, and we can all work together. We understand that there are some conflicts here, and we pray to Almighty Allah that Almighty Allah kind of help us bring some understanding among our people in our community, our elders, our brothers and sisters. So hopefully this convention is the beginning of something that is going to be historical. It is already historical, but it's going to take us some places we want to go, inshallah, and I pray that all these happen. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Brother Sharif, I promise us that you'll take us from place from here, so we will look forward to that 10 years from now, inshallah. We will now call on our brothers from Wisconsin to be able to give us a few words too, inshallah. Wisconsin?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Mamadi Kone. I can say probably the youngest among the leaders. And on behalf of the Wisconsin Mandingo Association, we have a goal. Being as young as I am, can see my Secretary General, former Speaker. We join together for a purpose, and which is the betterment of our people. How can we do this? Is to improve ourselves the way, learn from one another, and that will take us forward. And we need advices from other people as well as they need advices from us. You learn from your young, and the young learn from the elder. Being the youngest, that doesn't mean you are the closest among everybody. And being the older, you can always learn. The only thing I think we have to do is learn how to love one another here in the U.S. first. That's the main purpose of us gathering here tonight, loving. When we love one another, there will be a feeling. Through that feeling, we will always have opportunities to help those who need it. Right now, like many of our brothers have said, there are people back home that need help. But how can we help them? We have to help ourselves here first, which is unity among us. If we get that unity, there will be progress. When progress comes, there will be happiness. So I ask my brothers and sisters that we need to stay together no matter what the circumstances are. With that, I will say Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much. Before I pass the microphone over, I forgot I wanted to compliment somebody here. Personally, I was very excited to see Mamiata here today because I cannot explain how much we went through in Liberia with the war. I cannot explain how much she did for us in Liberia as one of the single lady working so hard. You know, I can't just explain it. So I was just so excited when I saw her today. I was shocked. I'm like, alhamdulillah, at least we can see again. Thank God again. And thank you for coming. I want to call on Atlanta, representative from Atlanta, to come and give us a comment, inshallah. Over. Any of our mothers, because most of the time we leave our mothers out, so we want to pass the microphone over to her. So somebody got to be available today. Allahu Akbar.
Alhamdulillah ya rabbil alamin. Mo la tanobi. Nu muso kama so denzo ya gbere. Nu muso mo la tanobi ka baka ala tanu mo de wunya ka do wu ka anya ka ko ni ko be ka anya. Mo na fala mo fawni mo bawu na fa ko fembe mo la ko mi fisa ya mo le. Mo wodu wu la suni tele. Kala wo ka mo ni ala wo ke. Aba jusi ni kala ata nyefe ala wo ke. Le mi fa muso ni che wunya. Nu muso nu le ko mi sanjangune. Kama se mvasa na ete wo ko mato ma ko jari nyinga da ke ma ko egbe. So wo ma wala uti nu muso mo ka fangata. Ne ko ke mvanye. Ala na silama ya deme nyami ngoka. Kata makasi moni mo de lala kabulo la itani temini nya kata dia la. Wo silama ya lohore ma we mo ko. Wo la to mo ko kamindelo mo dokene kabokene. Ikala nu shani ngapale. Mo shani ngapa. Ngapa sonumi envasa na kwa weto ko ngapa. Wangapa baminiwe. Mvata fa. Kafa la yukwiti. Woto le menya kano ko menya ko tuau menya ko menya afini wa tuau le. Wobani minde ko wobani mo fawni mo bawu ya benelo. Ati be dona kene ay bokene. Nu fa nu mu lani yanani. Kata na dini ya makata makasimina nu te dona kene le ka bokene. Ni silama ya fanga mayate. Ni silama ya fanga mayate ka silama ya dia mo bela mo wunya ka baka ka silama le ka ala dinye mo fawni mo bawunya. Nemi lani ni sande ka labi ya wuleku. Wa mo bela mo ma dinye makata amasho fanga ya mo menya wula. Fanga silama wula. Wo fanga mi dini mo fawni mo bawuma ala wadi mo de uma. Ala wadi mo de uma. Ne ko ke mvanya muso amu wikilo de mo de unkote mo de ube dala fa kama sio mikani ni ndima di aditi makanya na bebe si bebe janda wa abi wikilo awi ni mindola mo na mo fa majimi nga mo chawnya wale lo mo de unfeni kala ata akuni ala oke kala ata akuni ala oke aya fa ndo mani ko convertible ndole wede ndo akani convertible di mo ale di kunani dole na fa ko mo kata kwese le ko mo kata fuete le moria kakante bi wikata mota ni kama no hukuma kane sombe kuma mwase mawa dole makene ni bawete mwa kundi ya wolo ala ne menjiri awe ndo mai wikuma ane ngwa kalo taba iko ka na ngwa minga kalo taba iko ka ngo hello Mr. President akala mina we ngwe ko bebe fa ngo wa you know convertible, you know contame, you know consume. Akawela ko kwina ko musena ko mambo ani ko mbame ko do ya ni ko asini takaenda ko mbame ko fasti ko waka na try. I say I know nothing more Mandingo money is haja donzo ko yeah I know that Mandingo market all like that. When you're a Canadian, Mamma will do come for him, so no be more be a color. I got a mommy island. Aka will aware Sanika 10 o'clock in Nayanosi. More cat a mashona. More law mashona, security war post book of a coyam, open the roof and open available there. Aka Siala Camonia. Akada what that a war will attack in Nimama. Kaba Kachama will attack di ma. Kuna ta la kwa yimini yangu na ta la kwa ila bida wia kama so njete ile kakata kwa ile woko da cheme wo amini ku ya la kwa isala le woko continue you bo gawala ka ngomi de to continue you bo wende to kamera ko inwe wa ito jasna ngwa ile ngu ya kuma wele tunyere so nu mona ta minga ngapa mo che ukasawa kamo de usawa mona wakaminde mona nyonyele kera ngwa mo dokere amo bokini mo nu damunu ni amo ka dokere amo ka bokini ala do kadie mo ka mo bale woke so me ya mi nani ni amo din ala ko so animi ko so mo dewu tembe bo moro wo be fisa mo le amo do wo ka mo dewu nye amu lu afasala kala woke mo nya ala woke kala woke mo nya ala woke fanga me ya la lo ngapa mini we ato ngapa denu mini we mana we asole we no fa uta faule na ngapa ba mi gungunte ani we la ifonsia la ikuiti ka prati sabe makadabi so mo adule ni we wo bani mi de ko mo fa una dona kene ka bokene so amo do kene ka bokene sa ala me yakulata so minda mveka fanya wele we no muso ala la dinya monye mo chewu ala la dinya monye ala mo de wuta nyefe ala mo chewu ta nyefe mo de mulu beta kiyama mo che mu beta kiyama mo ba de mu beta kiyama ala la hinala min va ka fa yan va wele
right now Johnny anye anam karamokia kili ave ka sanse manine ke fanani iko mana lona lulu fana barana alisi ka lo haketu to mado andisi ka maybe mo lulu jateta mini kumani for maybe 2-3 minutes. I want to touch maybe make a few comments for 2-3 minutes inshallah. I understand Atlanta is not here, they are in the hotel, and Texas is also not here. So anybody that want to make a comment, so we just give maybe a few people just few comments to make.
Assalamu alaikum. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. بس كفو ما يكانوا. نالتانو ألمنا ماني ألو كننا كم ولا دنيا بي. نوني ألو تيجي سما جيه كننا نالتما مكنا. We nyado I have my history. Kokoromu no timini. Generation su timini dunia kono. Generation sueli la. Isuela ni kanele. Ifana kede kule kela. Isato ni kanele fana. Na generation mi kasoro. Alu soro ntinole. Kabotino. Kasatino. Amo foi mano. Mala lukede mi lefa ya muya. So we nyado no lo. Ma bia sama labiyo kono ma chon bawo mana fango akarani dita bon dete gam vako ana kumi mano akala nya no generation mano ma ta la kulila ma PhD sio ma master soro me tono tala bugo wa soro la yimi yo community madame e ma tono so ya karana mo susu yana ne usas dina cilana ne minga sallallahu alaihi wasallam ala na nyara wa yake di wanziru ashratakal akrabi itiyamu ulefa sai na ta mogo fa adami ya mu mafro ika kala nyanya ma you don't have constituent political base you are useless tina fui mana ya dunya telo ya kala tani wuna fana so nyamo kan ma nyaado ma community law 10 years you never struggle bani ma boni nyamo ga labie promise me din ala be ko kara ka monye ala sini de kama makono wa nyamo ma wi atana kala wa nuridu an namuna allazina ustudifu fil ard wal naj'aluhu a'imatan wal naj'aluhu warisin itana to asuno la ka oki ya fi wile so we nyado amino ele yo promise me din mama ma afeka promise woke wa nyamati mama wi atisikela afana do tisikela nyamo ma belo jala ka karan be kun fala atana foi mono na nyama belo dalu mine wala because yoga kuma like kuma ikuno inyaro kano be islam ayele wa tasimu bihablillahi jami'a wala tafaraku واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار ما نلوتي وبيرما ما بتي بمبولمان ما على ما فهمينغ أنا مليار بيامورا ولا كما أنا كأكيني كو أي بويكة على يجورلا كنا ما كأكيني أتنا كفويل وكمي وكمني منا تكو personal problem petty jealousy, greed, all the more community la talko. Be offer la more community tado nyefe beseka jele nye do tafeka 3 generation susu nyama atiri nyonye accountability teno transparency teno o banye dali maka kuma kadama makara si dunia ban matena ta roya. First of all, generation mini ifa uka sala o ibemu ay mine dima wole ala mine wole get the legacy le e wonu ya amroga mote gbemina mati mitimina jama mo because la mi mito ni mo be wole wokela so ko nu we setano mo say bisawani ko mo we say leadership ama nu kele mi la fama do ya mo kele mi fa yan mo ma belo mati de fuila fuki nyo attack no proud failure generation e kele mi la fola I feel very frustrated o hamile nela watibe ngere mi la fa ndenya mveni ne mafui mono because na kara na mama belo ima belo mi de keni umu na fala au jafa ulu mauti se jafa ajema kuka ke mula nyanya ma adamade susu ko be defo le kala wa mu defo kala bebe minele bom ya kose kola defo magafo wa na mikani defo le keni yo wa ai jafa ma wani gavo kule fa na buyeni ko ite jafa ma dila da itafe ya community da nyefa so komi traditional awale ni wati sema teno ngede ngose ko na haya mako ala na fumu ko na fe ka ko ka anye mo unu tewole mo ko suppress ke ni duka ana atonyola yo mola boni nyam ga labi kama gben ala mi ka wulu nya wole kerote moye bo wisi asuno ate na kinye wal najhalu aimatan ngede wulu kala minele kundi wu business executive tone to millionaire be tese kale na mabelo amafe labi ne yombo du na wo ai ajekene business la the first of its kind in history may work a chief of staff aimatan wole koy wal najhalu warisin wole ko era okun ya umafe chief of staff obalo we nya do na yurumo do ana military akalamini but they became the strongest force in the country ana bomgi nyonko go hadoka binda meako o fagesa foroni I foroni de tono e wo bola ma feti mani be bina benayina wa do wule ma befe ko susu timini mo susu sani mala de la hina bela ina ba ma fo kada ke chasela kaw ina ba ima ba ma fo asusu abena struggle kala abena kaminolo abena ka ko market kine de kanema I was in the 10th grade when the general said well dumuya paleke de fa mayor ya leya April 6 Accra dumuya wo fa mayor ya nya jomo wo seke famu wo molifata wulu wo bata sera unu ta la kwira nu ta ne la kwira nu ko ngoma kada ala binale kaya seka fulo ma wo bele mai na mamma ke kine atina jafa mama ukumate because ana struggle ka wal struggle can kuminela ko educated people ayi we kama kekene mo ko ke ma generation ya national conspiracy self conspiracy and it becomes self-destructiveness jama moko mama jeko idaromini itanada yoroda so ayi matami for ala biniwe akere maka kundi ule meti se kundi le fa ibelo alwarisin ko jama na mini wa nyala ayena ko labi masa ya ko bale foita na faina mo susu yana ne mo mi kero masa la le kalo wa masa ya te foile unity le ko bale na mo ka belo who can change the public perception against our community, and eventually anybody will emerge as president. Tijan kabana ka president sala me jeno. Ala yana kale. Inama amuru iza arada an yaf. Ay kudi ka afo kun fayaku. Ke masala o kale ili nyaro ko we jema. So e ka tinole. The most powerful rebel leader mo wa gbe. Mo na tono mi le si ala ya fo. For taking things personal problem as community problem. For my whole tabia, the traditional way, we have forgotten kuma. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much. Yeah, what's your name?
Minnesota.
I think Minnesota producing also. Rakumara? Okay, how mother want to make a comment to inshallah?
Bismillah. Kumami beka fo malwa ni komi kuna yano ni bi mafana nsini akuna wale kama sko benfe yo dini ya kumana sa yo minde ani primo ko idamina lo na adamina ni salio ni ona no so salio ya bentima ke atide na ka yure mbole I bentima ke atide na kinyonga kana muta udwa lubina salali muso ulete fangala yin ko tibe nala chewte muso ulekira kama so mo boni kera buluma fanga be muso la yori akatimi cheko ka muso unulete alimote refugee malomi so mata felila kadi ama ayeta kisesa kadi inoma aka ko tia kisebe dasa otibe fo amanye waka munyo na de ka wali binyonga muti madimi na walo moy wali binyonga kadi ay basi sankata basi maro moto ni yeno borole ma ha kana yumbo ko jere da mina katola kana labi e borra soro ile fefe ke mini ama hakiri di mom matite na haki soro abutu kele ma haki di mom matina na haki soro abutu mo mi folanye ay lo ja ay kekirene abi lo ja ka kekirene bene ko bedia nu muso fani mo be se kilo akola wanya luma be do che beni dalo mo tena na bena mo bo tena la jikengo ale nu muso organization mena dena nya chewu benda tena na bena so min beni oro fo chewu yoja ka be na ka kekere ne o aka mo be se ka fanga soro mo jumu mo ko wanya mama kekere ne mo tena na fanga soro la ama ala wati be makata manyo na binale na trefla mengo ako ko su bedi internet la ben de ngolo mo ko ma umena awobe tulo to akala muru mo ko abe fanga soro mama mo fa intena ni lola ka ko mo ko to ma dia na nguma fola anya ko e mi ko to ko awa boy no ba alu muru bendalo e mine ni utu mo ko mo jere gbu nyongo so ayilo ja ay wodabla be miri kala min na nyama be fa miri donga ni nyamima be miri bitelema mo aburo mi malabi no ti ma long ka fo mo aburo ma bilabi mo te na kete no ka fo me yete na kete minde na wo kala be na wo ka mo be do fangala fefe sini ni fefe koka mo be so ne bela so mi bela nyami ngata mi ke aya fanyana awo fa oti nyana nya akake so bla fene abla nya fa nda bla fene o aka mo be se kila dama abla nyanga wa mo afa ka ko mo gbanza bi nyona o aka be ke tinye ni mi de atoto tari kunete nore mo do boro ma bi mo te fo ma fo don ta sebuto nu jera guta wa adi be ke woro mo be finge mo be timi mi no mo be se abe ke sele ay lo ja ay belo
Okay, but I think we get sufficient warning here and sufficient currently. And this is an advance warning also to the federation that's going to be formed. You get a lot of information here that you need to make use of. So again, for us that are coming up again, young leaders, we always give warning again, learn from the mistake of the past. Learn from the mistake of our brothers that passed before us, so that we can correct ourselves and make good judgment, inshallah. We want to get 2 more comments, then inshallah, then we try to close the session from here. Okay.
Please stand up. Aya Julio.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Please be seated.
A little oversight, and we apologize to the podium that we will correct that. The guest speaker deserve better introduction to that, and besides the program, we had a little glitch into the program. This is a guy that flew from Monrovia just because he wants to be here, and his contribution to the plight of our people is something that is immense, and we think we can better let the public know who he is, because he has been very much helpful in getting us to where we are. But then we'll continue the rest of the program, then we will have the time to call the guest speaker. The time has come for us to call of the occasion here. The honorable platform guest, His Excellency, the guest speaker, our mothers and sisters, officials and members of FAMUSA present, and officials and members of the Lima present here, our host, fellow citizens of Liberia, ladies and gentlemen. We have been called upon to give a few words on the attributes and contribution of our guest speaker. The issue of keynote speaker and guest speaker and speaker. We have asked Mr. Belete to take the challenge to bring messages from our people back in Liberia. Mr. Belete is not a strange man in our community. Mr. Belete has been active in our community from the time probably all of us was a child. He has labored, has fought, has organized, has instituted a lot of measures that have brought a lot of relief to our people and after the war. Mr. Belete now serves the board of director of the National Port Authority. Mr. Belete is also president and CEO of the most formidable Mandingo organization, the Mandingo Caucus. Mr. Belete has been instrumental in organizing and uniting our people in Monrovia as well. Take this time with no further ado to bring forward a most energetic, young, honorable Musa Belete. and make reference to the rest of the podium member. Thank you.
Wonder Money, you ready? Marco, I'm sorry. We have to work with the traditional with the welcome of our people. They have the calabash.
That's a complete representative of the Mandingo culture.
I will first want to officially welcome our guest speaker, Brother Musa Berete, into the city of brotherly love. Sweetheart, can you just walk there? Masiami Doble will be presenting the calabash to Brother Musa Berete. Here. Musa, you want to come up here, please? This is the city of brotherly. Officially welcome you. So this is the mother.
Thank you so much for coming, Mr. Berete. You are welcome.
Honor. Thank you for welcoming me.
Thank you. And Mr. Starter, could you please stand up? We try to welcome you in the hall.
Father, who is Mr. Starter?
Yes, thank you very much for coming. You are welcome.
Commissioner of
Affairs from the mayor's office, the special commissioner from the mayor's office.
Morris and your team, please stand up. They stay upstairs in the hotel having fun. Okay, he's the secretary, but he's got a huge team. Of New York, please stand up. Morike, okay. Your team, okay, good. I see Mohammed Kuma in the back, okay. Washington, D.C., Virginia, Maryland. Okay. Arizona, we have somebody that flew from Arizona here. Miss Kamara from Arizona. New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey. Europe, please. Who came from Europe? We have somebody from Europe, Holland, I think. Delaware. North Carolina. Atlanta, Georgia. The people of Philadelphia, D401. Philadelphia.
Thank you, Eddie. Mr. Chairman and members of the organizing committee of this all-important conference, let me take this time to first and foremost thank you for your visionary decision to have us here today to talk about the future of our people in the United States. Before I start, I'm very sure that you are aware that along with me, I should have come with Professor Alhaji G. Vikroma. Unfortunately, and after he had engaged himself seriously to ensure that he's here, circumstances beyond his control could not allow him to be here. He has asked me to convey to you, the organizers, his sentiment. He wants you to know that there is no greater task in our community today than the one that will unite us. And he assures you of his continued support in this process. It's also the message from the Executive Council of the National Mandingo Caucus of Liberia. When I was contacted to speak on this occasion, I thought to write a speech, and I did so. And I will be giving that speech to a guy in the IT department to publish it on the internet. But unfortunately, I cannot read that speech to you anymore, because between the time I wrote my speech and the time I reached in Philadelphia, so many things have distracted me. I was on the plane when we changed plane in Brussels. I went into the cafe, and like any other person, I wanted to read my mails, and I read the internet. I was even further distracted. So between Brussels and New York, I spent those 7 hours pointing down some point that I thought we should discuss here tonight. I have not come from Liberia to heap praises on myself or anybody else. I have come to share with you our experience, to be with you as we did when we embarked upon organizing the National Mandingo Caucus of Liberia. The first thing that came to my mind was to find out from ourselves as to what lessons we have learned. And the idea of this conference, whether it succeeds or not, I can assure you that it's a noble one. The people, the community in Liberia, they are very much excited. Please, don't let them down. We are tired of polarizing ourselves, waging proxy war on each other, and it is time that we move from all the shadows and stand up as a political force in the Republic of Liberia. And given our own experience, like I said, I did not come to praise anyone. This is a conference which I assume is consultative. So by that, we're here to share ideas with one another so that from here we can correct the mistake. Those mistakes that could have been corrected, we can correct them. And there are certain factors that I want us to consider. I was not happy that the organizers of this conference were not able, up to now, 2 years since we were last in Philadelphia. I was not happy that the issue has not been resolved. What do I call Limani? Some of you know, some of you don't know. But maybe because you are in America. But back, Limani means a lot to us. They have championed. They were our voices when no one could hear us. And we have tried and tried for the issue to be resolved. And I was very, very disappointed when I saw that there was a publication on the Limani website, which I read yesterday. I don't know when it got there, saying that Limani will not be here. I know that there are other people in Limani that are here today, a significant portion of Limani. But I also thought that we should throw the challenge to the organizers of this conference and the eventual leaders of this organization to try to resolve that issue. The other things I wanted to do is to talk about our past leaders, those who have led us at one time or the other. So, some of them we know. Some of them we don't like. Some of them we like. Let's talk, for instance, first and foremost, about Dr. Edward B. Kessley. We must honor him, for he's the first one to the Liberian political scene that are ready and capable to lead Liberia. He did so. He was the founder of the party that is ruling Liberia today. And it's very important that you know that, because that is a pride to our community. At all times, we need to honor those leaders. How many Liberians know today that Unity Party was founded by a Mandingo man? Not many Liberians know. We need to let other Liberians know that, and we ourselves need to know that. Following down the year, let's go to Professor Alhaji J.B. Kroma. No matter how you feel, no matter how you think, when the NPF came to Liberia and pushed our people out of Liberia, when we felt that we were no longer part of that country, a voice came from nowhere and gave hope to our people. And that voice was the voice of Alhaji J.B. Kroma. Is not because if I don't say A, I will not speak. Not because I need anything. The community will not go anywhere. And I mean anywhere if we don't honor those who have sacrificed their life to lead us. If you come demanded here, we are all aware that there was no critic, but those were the time. When things settle down, you have to give honor to where honor is due. Something happened to Alhaji today. It happened to him, or because he was Information Minister of Republic of Liberia, or because he is a professor at the University of Liberia. It's simply because he championed the cause. Having said that, we also need, as a community, to acknowledge that in the quorum of honor for our leaders, there are voices of dissent. And those who don't agree with our leaders. There are those who will never agree with our leaders. We will never be a society that will be successful until we agree to disagree among ourselves. We must recognize and respect the opinion of people who stand up against us, somebody else, our opinion and our position. If we don't do that, we will never succeed. I also want to go and talk about civil democratic corner. Of all the leaders in the last 25 years, no particular person's effort has benefited our people and our country more than this man. Why do I say so? It was his movement that finally drove Taylor out of here. He did it, and from the time he did it up to the time of the transitional government and election and now this government, he never backtracked on any promise that he made to the international community. There in Liberia. But we must honor him. We're made to invite him. But I think it is important that you highlight his achievement before other people do. The other point I wanted to raise tonight is to talk about our generation. This generation. The generation that is taking over the leadership of our community today. I just want you to look at yourself 16 years ago and realize, take that 16 years from the age of the people that were leading us 60 years ago. Then you realize that you too have come of age to rule. It is your time, and it is now. Because right behind you, there is another generation. If you don't, they will come and take it from you. There is something that is going on in the United States among our people, which is very disturbing, because I would like to announce to you that the last Ramadan in Liberia, one evening, Alhaji called me, Alhaji Koma. He said, Musa, where are you? I said, I'm home. He said, I'm coming to you. When he got to my house, we were having dinner, and the next day was prayer day. Then he said, you being the president of the Mandingo caucus, what's about calling all our political leaders to come to your house? We drive together, we go to Jakarta and pray together. I said, well, we'll try. He said, try it. But in the morning, I call everybody. Just the Janet, Brother Lucini Kamara, Justice Sako, Sekou Kone. I call everybody. And they all responded. They came, and we went to Jakarta to pray. When our people saw us together that day, some of the old men and women, our old men and women, they cried. They say, we never thought that you would do this. We went back after prayer and we sat down to show an example at that meeting. I have it on video. I will give it out to the organizers of this conference. And he said, I want everybody in this room and everybody anywhere else, whatever I might have done to you, I want everybody to forgive me. If you are not a leader, you can never possess the characteristic to say, I'm sorry. And he did that. But it is surprising to note in the United States that we are still fighting a proxy war. We're still using Alhaji Kromani, Sekou Demaki Kone, Imo Soya to fight each other. When the names that we are using are no longer at war, you are the one in America, you are the one that is beyond time. We have already unified ourselves in Liberia. It is you. You are the one that will divide our society again. I left Liberia Friday night. I was with Alhaji on the 2 o'clock Thursday in the morning. We together. We do things together. We do business together. If you look at me today, not because I'm one of you, but do I look like somebody who can be proxying for another person? Can't you see that I'm able to be my own man? In Liberia, the person who owns the largest network of radio station and television, the person who supervises the largest single entity in any agency in Liberia cannot be protected for somebody else. And here, I hate to say it, but it is time that people of our generation stand up behind their own principle and preach and agree to disagree with one another and stop using the name of people who have served our community in their time. It is fair if David Krumah disagrees with me. It's fair for him to say, I disagree with Musa. But it is unfair for David to say that I disagree with Musa because he's representing the idea of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That's not fair. To say Vavle Dole is promoting Alhaji Krumah. The issue with Vavle Dole, tell him that Vavle Dole, I don't agree with you. But don't say he's a proxy. And I will be disappointed if Vavle Dole becomes a proxy for somebody, because the Vavle Dole I know is his own man. For us to take over the leadership of our community. Those who have served us have served their time. This is our time. I will say this as many times as I have to. And the reason is very simple. If you don't sell yourself, the market will not buy you. In Liberia, we formed the National Mandingo Caucus. We included everybody. We made copies of our preamble and dashed it before every mosque. And it took 3 months, because that's what we told the people, that this document we are drafting will receive comment for 3 months. That is why, since the formation of the National Mandingo Caucus, there has never been a splinter organization formed, because we saw it in the beginning and we ensure that all interests are protected. For instance, those of us who are the founding leaders of the National Mandingo Caucus, we are not eligible to run for election when election comes up. We do that so that we will not perpetrate ourselves into power. And we have ruled for past leaders. That's what we call the National Executive Council. Your organization here will fail if you don't include everybody. There are some people that refuse to come today. There are some people from Limani, notably, even if they are a minute part, it is still a challenge, because you cannot afford for any visible disagreement from the beginning. If you do that, you have a long way to go. Now, we come to something that I want to call warning ourselves. If all we're trying to do in forming our association is to reignite all order, is to reenact few that existed before, we are bound to fail. You must understand that it's been 17 years since the war in Liberia started, and we have reconciled ourselves. Your brothers and sisters in Liberia, I don't know about disagreement in family or money business, but we don't have any political disagreement that have taken us apart, at least for the last 18 months. Then it comes to what you are looking for. Are you looking for unity and peace, or are you looking for a common goal? Unity and peace is a war that we will agree with me has eluded the entire universe. That's not what we should look for. We should seek a common goal, so that in that goal there are people who believe left, there are people who believe right, and yet our common belief is to take our community forward. And that's what we should look for here in this organization. There is one bad thing that is almost a characteristic of being a Mandingo. If other people start something, simply because you did not participate in the beginning, you feel that you should not be part of it anymore. That is terribly wrong with us. And those who are not here tonight, those who are not informed either by mistake or oversight, they should not feel that this organization is born and therefore we shouldn't do anything anymore and we should just leave it with them. It's just going to come up as another organization and fall again. We should start that. We should support this cause and make sure it works, because your people back home, they are listening to you. Monday morning, you're going to go on your website, you're going to see what you have put together, you're going to see what leaders you have elected, you're going to see whether you look for leaders that will divide you or the leaders that will unite you. They are watching you every step of the way. And the Executive Council of the National Mandingo Caucus extend this to you also. I want our people in the United States to pay keen attention to this. Injuring our future. Education. A lot of us have found our way in America. But the statistics shows that about 80% of those who come to America from our community, even when they were in school, abandon school when they come here. That is a danger. We have to find a way to change that. We can't afford that. Every time you see the website, you see somebody has mastered it, it's because we are a community. But if you look at the actual statistics, 80% are not going to school or have no plan to go to school. If you don't change that, everything that you are doing now is going to end in vain. And in this vein, I want to particularly thank Brother Amara Kone. Why do I thank Amara Kone? Amara has made us proud. He went back to Liberia. He worked excellently well. Today, Amara is joining the elite club in Liberia. They call it the Harvard Club. You should be very, very proud. There are less than 15 to 25 Liberians that graduated from Harvard. And we should be proud that one of our own, one of our generation, is going to join that group very, very soon. I want to thank the organizers, our old people, the women, the mothers, the fathers, for doing this. We also want to thank all of you that have come from various states to come so that we can have peace among ourselves, so that we can unite our community, so that the people back home can start hearing the bickering that you are having on the internet. It is disturbing them. It is disturbing them. And I hope and pray that God will guard the people who you have selected tonight to lead you from here. And may God bless all of us and God bless Liberia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benedict, for that powerful speech. I'm pretty sure serious consideration. I'd like to welcome Mr. Abu Masale for 5 minutes speech to the Liberian people. You got a seat in the back. Can you please clear the door and come to the back, please?
Please specifically for the guests. So we expect all of our Mr. Lansanan Kroma.
Brief. Honorable Strada, the Mayor's Commission on Caribbean Affairs, distinguished platform guests, members of the combined and various individual delegations from all across the United States of America. It is my greatest honor to present one of our own in the person of Brother Abu Ali. The brother was born onto the union of the late Muhammad Masale and Mrs. Musu Masale in Liberia. Brother Masale went through several educational journeys, from the Warwick Public School in Wexford, Lofa County, to the WVS Tubman High School, and to the University of Liberia. He completed his bachelor's degree at the University of Liberia in chemistry and minor in biology. He later enrolled at the A.M. Douglaty College of Medicine at the University of Liberia, where he graduated with Doctor of Medicine in the year 1998. He transitioned to the United States in the year 2000. Currently, Dr. Masale is coordinator of an agency providing support to individuals with developmental disabilities. Brother Masale is happily married with 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my greatest honor to bring forward Brother Abu Masale. Let's give a big round of applause.
Mr. Stanley L. Strata, Chairman of the Mayor's Commission on African and Caribbean Immigrant Affairs of Philadelphia, our distinguished brother Musa Benete, who traveled from Liberia, Mr. Chairman and members of the Convention Committee, Mr. President and officers of LAMAP and distinguished President of Mandingo Associations in Americas, distinguished heads and members of sisterly organizations here present, distinguished heads and members of Mandingo sister clubs, Lanaya, Benkoma, Millionaire, etc., etc. Mr. President and members of Liberian Association of Pennsylvania, if present, distinguished platform guests, ladies and gentlemen. Just before I delve into the substance of my address this evening, I'd like to commend Brother Musa's ability, exercise that we have been battling and falling with over the past few weeks to culminate this exercise into next activity. Usually it is not a good thing to follow a wonderful speech by another wonderful speech. The tendency is that you will dilute the essence and the significance of the message that was delivered. And you can see that every aspect of it is very cogent and is very, very important. Even though I have a 6-page document to present, which I believe is very important, and for the time stress and the emphasis laid on the essence of tonight's activity,